Page 193, exercise 14.2. The music is on page 194. At the top of page 193, they talk about rubato. Now, rubato, I have problems with rubato. It has to be done carefully, but it has to sound spontaneous. It's a give and take. It's where you're altering. Now, there's two kinds of rubatos. There's a kind where you'll slow down the tempo a little and then speed it up, so overall it remains about the same. It's just like a give and take in the speed just a little bit here and there. Not for long stretches of time, it's just little stretches of time. It may only be a note or two, or it could be maybe a measure or something like that, but you wouldn't take it long, because then you're just changing the speed. So rubato is a give and take, but there's another kind of a Chopinesque, named after Chopin, and that's where the speed remains the same. The left hand typically remains solid, doesn't change, but the right hand can slow down and speed up by itself. So you got one keeping the beat normal, like a set of drums normal, and then the other, the melody, is speeding up and slowing down, speeding up, but it's sort of staying synchronized overall with the beat. That's another type. I don't do either one very well. I'll just admit it, because I fell into the trap, and I've heard other pianists do the same, is where they think they're doing rubato and it sounds wonderful to them. It actually sounds like they don't know the speed they're supposed to go. It sounds terrible. So yeah, if you're going to try this out, make sure you record yourself, and is it coming across as rubato, or is it coming across like you just don't know what you're doing? And they give some suggestions for rubato, like if you're heading toward a climax, you might slow it down a little bit. For instance, look at the music on page 194. This piece overall is a soft piece, but it builds up to a loud part around measures 17 and 18. It starts building at 16. This is the climax of the piece. And here, with a rubato, you could possibly slow this down a little bit. Some people might actually speed it up to enhance the excitement. You have to experiment with both and listen to recordings of this and see what the professionals do on their rubato, because they'll slow it down or speed it up, whatever, too. They also mention unexpected turns and things that are going on in the music, that if you'll delay those or linger on them a little longer and make them last a little longer, it gives the listener a little more time to hear them, is what they're saying. With me, when I try that, it just sounds like I don't know what I'm doing, and it sounds terrible. It didn't work at all. But you can experiment with it and see. I think one of the people who had the best rubato recently was Van Cliburn. Listen to his music. His rubato is absolutely amazing. And when I try and do rubato like him, it doesn't come across like him. It just comes across like I'm making all kinds of mistakes. I don't know what the rhythm is or the time or nothing. So you have to be careful on that. Now, let's talk about this piece on page 194. About every pianist that learns to play piano, if they get very far with it, they will play this piece. Melody's in the right hand, and it's all very slow. Largo is really, really, really slow. How slow? Well, it's really, really, really slow. Now, they put it in cut time. I don't know why. I guess because they want to feel 2 beats per measure, but if you're going really, really, really slow, I beat 1, and then eventually when I get around to it, here's beat 2. Well, I can't feel a rhythm when the beats are that slow. So here, you can look at the left hand eighth notes, and they're beamed according to, there's 2 groups of beams per measure, which means it's beamed according to the cut time. So it's 1, 2, 1, 2 is how cut time would go. But this is 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and. That's quarter notes. See, eighth notes, 1 e and a 2 e and a 1 e and a 2 e and a. Well, this piece doesn't go that fast, because I'm not going to do that. It doesn't go that fast, but that's cut time. It would go more like this. You find recordings of this. doesn't sound like cut time to me. That sounds like 4/4 to me, because I'm going 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. So to cut time feel, it's 1 E and 2 E and 1 E and 2 E and 1 E and 2 E. So I don't know about this, and I'm too lazy to go look up a good edition of this. So a lot of times an editor will get a hold of a piece of work and they'll re-edit it, and they'll change time signatures, and they'll change notes, and they'll change articulation and all kinds of things without any indication they changed it. So you have to be careful. If you really want, in my opinion, the most reliable is what we call an Urtext edition. And Urtext, U-R-T-E-X-T, and that is an edition that has not been touched by an editor. It's supposed to be what the manuscript said. I don't know, I don't go to the manuscript and verify it, I just take their word for it. But if I can find an Urtext edition, then that's what I use. For instance, I'm currently working on a list piece, a thing he wrote, and I have it here. But you can see here, I don't know if you can see it or not, it's Urtext. That tells me, hopefully an editor hadn't gotten a hold of it, although there are notes at the bottom of the pages giving little footnotes about things, this is this way, but this might be this way, or this is whatever. But it's nice to know that stuff. Well, on this page 194 in this music, I don't know what the editor's done. I'd have to go look it up and compare it. But if you're really serious about learning a piece of music, you should do that anyway. So back to this. I got off on my little rant on editions. I wouldn't worry about the cut times. As far as I'm concerned, just take it really, really, really slow. And watch the fingering. The fingering's fine. Make sure you bring out the right hand. That's the melody. You just want this gentle pulse in the left hand. Just boom, boom. As far as the pedal goes, it's going to be overlapping pedal. Change it with the harmony in the left hand. Don't pedal measure 13. When you get here, don't pedal that measure at all. And careful pedaling 18 and 19. Make sure you're changing it with the harmony in the left hand. Otherwise it gets blurry. Ugh. And at the end, it's really, really, really soft. You have all these notes, and yet you got to keep it really, really, really soft. Here, and then here, and then finally here. I do not recommend using the soft pedal to help get it soft. I think it's much better if you can learn to do it with your hands through control. I'm not pushing the notes straight down. I'm not going this way. I'm going this way. I'm going, or this way actually. It's kind of in with the hands, the wrist going here. So it's here, 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 and you just have to practice. It's different on different pianos too. But keep it just about as soft as you can play it there at the end. And then at the end, the pedal and the hands come up at the same time. But lift the hands up first slightly, just lift the keys up, keep the hands down, and then lift the pedal up very slowly and let the sound just die away. Don't end it abruptly. Don't hear, and don't just lift the pedal up and end the sound abruptly like that. Let it die away slowly. And you do that by lifting the pedal slowly. And that's it. I don't know that I need to point anything out here. You can get it. It's got a triplet there at the end of measure 13. So you're... And there your rubato can come in. You can linger on that a little bit. So I just slowed down that just a little bit before I go on. On measure 16, you have that turn. And now here, you see the word stretto right above it? Simply put, stretto means to speed up. You're getting more exciting. It's an exciting part, so you're going to speed up just a little bit. Watch the fingering very carefully, because 1 on the B, and then it's a 3-2. That sets you up for the turn, because you're going to go with 3, 2, 1. like so. So it's here. Now in measure 19 there's another triplet. Did you see it? You have one, and as you're doing this you're coming off of the climb, you're coming off of the loud part, and actually you can start slowing down in there too. This is the loud part on measure 18, and you sped up a little bit. This is exciting here. And now you're starting to die away. And you slow back down to where you were. Now that grace note on measure 20, I played on the beat. I'm pretty sure Chopin did too. And it's just not a real quick note because that's out of character for this piece. It's like a longer grace note. It's almost like an appoggiatura. It's so that measure is here. It's like a 16th note. Again, listen to different recordings and listen to how the different professionals. Don't just listen to one or two, listen to as many as you can get, because they'll interpret it different, and it's really interesting. But yeah, this is a good piece to learn if you can get the chords. Watch the chords in the left hand. Take a look at measure 18. In the left hand you have here, and then you're up here. Spell the chord out if you're not sure what it is. It's an A, a C, an F sharp, and an A. And then the next chord is a G, B, D sharp, F sharp. Well, that's not fun. It's easier to do 3 there. And then here. So you work out these chords carefully. Chopin has moving lines within the chords. And when you can get it learned and you can play all the notes comfortably, start listening for these moving lines in the chords. Take a look. It starts sort of like on measure, 15? When you're coming down, you're this moved and this moved. And they moved. And that's really what we're after here. Then the next line is here. The middle note's coming down. And then the top note comes down. And then the bottom note goes down. It's like 3 voices, one at a time, gradually going down, overlapping each other. It's beautiful the way he did it. In measure 17, it's in the top note, then they all come down, etc. And so after, as I said, you learn it and you can play it comfortably, listen for these, and you can bring out these changes just slightly. It's gorgeous, but that's about all I have to say on this. Good luck if you want to play this. Oh, in case you're wondering, right at the end there, it's like third to the last measure. There's a fermato over the rest. Well, it works the same way as a fermato over the note. You just pause. How long? Well, you feel how long. It's like everything just kind of comes to a stop, and then at the very end, you're coming in here very softly. And then the final one.